So we'll do a comparison with the old wind system, or Wix, or whatever people want to call it, and the new system that is in here now. So you can see the difference in the bowl size here. So here's the old one. It's pretty hard to see anything in it because, well, obviously it's pretty discolored and so forth, but you can see that the volume of difference between the two is probably at least 5 times, maybe more, because it's higher on the new one and it's also much larger. It's probably even close to 10 times the volume. So in the old system, this one that I'm just setting down, at the bottom quarter of that clear bowl was where the fuel was running into and maintaining a level at when the system was running. I couldn't see if there's bubbles because it's so badly discolored. So let's start up the engine here. This is called the Golden Rod. It's made in the United States. It's Dutton Linton Industries or something. I'll post the links for that. But anyway, we'll start the engine. You can see where the gravity feed has filled it. It's about 2/3 full, so a substantial amount of fuel in there. And now it starts to pull down when it's pulling pressure for vacuum. Now I'll go and put it on fast idle. So we're sitting at about minus 2 pounds per square inch vacuum. Air bubbles. So that indicates to me that there's probably a deterioration in the line from the fuel tank to here. And now we're at about 3 pounds of vacuum pressure. There's quite a bit of air there. Well, quite a bit in it, a number of bubbles. But this isn't something I'm going to deal with right away. That is a horrific job pulling that line out. And there's not going to be any air getting in here with this filter. And I don't think that given the amount of pressure which is on here, or vacuum, which is almost negligible, there's going to be any seepage through the line. It could be, but my hope is that there isn't. So while it's here, I'll just show you a few things. So this is the new line that came that I put in that goes to the engine fuel pump back of the HUE unit, just below the HUE unit. I've got it going into a T connection here so I can put the gauge on. That should indicate when it's plugged. That's the theory anyway. They use this on ships, so I'm pretty sure it'll work, and I worked on ships. So this goes into the pardon me, this comes in from the tank through the Golden Rod system. There's a drain on the bottom. It's also a water separator. This cartridge is only like $16, so it's not that expensive, and I think it does around, I think this one does 70 microns or something around that. You can get different screens for it. This does 70. This filter in here takes out 150, so this is actually doing this job, but I don't want to take this thing apart. To me, it doesn't make any sense. So you can see water if it's here. I doubt any water is ever going to get to this point here, but if you can drain it, but you can't see the fuel in here. Now it comes out of here, goes through into this T, as I explained, through the pressure system, and then back out to the engine. So this is a new line, and that was one sorry mess to take out and put back in. But anyway, and this here is a panel that I built to mount onto the engine bay to hold the whole thing together. Much easier way to do it than trying to use, there's no reason to use their crappy plastic box here. This here has a panel behind it of the same material to hold it straight. That's why it sits straight. It's got a new bracket that I built on here. This bracket, when I made a mistake, you might want to not do that. I measured the holes, thought they were the same. They are. They're completely, I think it's 3 inches or something, but one's higher than the other one. So hence a lot of filing to get it to fit on the top of the bracket. But other than that, it was a pretty easy installation. What could be done better than what I did, this goes through, it actually is up against, this brass is up against the line here. This is the secondary filter. This goes to the Huey pump. Now, what I would do different, I'm assuming that's the output line, but it might be this one. But anyway, this line is touching this one. I've got rubber around it, so it's not touching anything. You could bring it up across and put your valve here. That would be a better installation in my view, and then go straight out the back. That'd be simple to do. But I didn't want to go back, redo it, get more fittings, fiddle around, although it'd be pretty easy. This, fortunately, is just NPT thread, National Pipe Thread. It's nothing exotic. These are special fittings that you buy at hydraulic stores and fuel line stores. So you could bring it across, go here, go straight out the back. It would be a lot nicer. I don't think this is going to move, and I don't really have I guess there's many more other things that have to be worked on than just improve the concept of this thing. But it works well. It works exactly as I designed it to.